Hey y'all, this is Cyndee. I'm the Tireless Tangler. I want to welcome you back to my channel. Today is day 10 of the Inktober Tangles 2023 series, and today's tangle is Buldiz. Thank you guys for being with me for 10 days. And it is by CZT Stephanie Bordeau. I think she's in France, but she could be in Belgium, or I don't know. Not sure. I just know she speaks French. So, and I also don't know how to say that. So don't hate on me. Okay, so it's fun and cute. Look how cute it is. And we're going to have some fun with it today. So come on, let's go tangle. Please hang out with me, embellish, and just relax and have fun today. So I am going to use another gray tile today because I want to use my charcoal pencil for highlighting again. So let's get started. That's dirty. All right. So I am not going to use edges today. I frequently ignore them anyway, so what's the point? But I want to do something kind of fun today. I'm going to do sort of a perspective thing, like when you have a road that starts small and then goes large like that. That's what I want to do today. So what I'm going to do is give it two edge borders. So I'm going to start here and move apart. I don't know if you guys can see that. Like that. And I'm going to once again start here close. Like this, okay? And what I'm going to do is make my initial orbs in between these two lines so that I sort of can control myself with how large I get. Okay, and I'm going to make them small to large just to make it a little bit more fun today. Let me find my good pen. Okay. Because one of them the puppy chewed on. You know he did. You know he did. Okay, so I'm going to start with my smaller ones, and the start to this tangle is just to draw orbs that are touching each other. So I'm going to start in this little corner by doing sort of a partial orb. Like this, okay, and I'm almost touching both edges, okay, and then the next one is going to be right here, and I'm going to start on this line. I'm going to try to make it as nice and round as I can, okay, and again I've touched my two pencil lines. This is my way of making it go bigger without having to think too hard about it. So again, I'm going to start on that line for my shakers and tremorers. That's my new word. Take your time on this. Start on the line, because if you have crazy wonky lines, if you start on an inked line that's already inked, then your odds of making it in okay are a lot higher, okay? Now, of course, these don't have to be perfect. Okay, they're going to be cute no matter what happens, even if they're wonky. Nice and round. Again, not perfect, but nice and round. Oh, that's going to be a big one. All right, just like that, okay? Now, excuse me, the second step is we're going to put a teardrop shape in these, okay? And I'm going to use this one, but wait until I do a few so you know what I mean. So somewhere here in the middle, you're going to come down and make sort of a teardrop shape in there. That one's going to be really big. And again, these do not have to be perfect. They're going to work no matter what. Now turn your tile upside down, and you're going to make another one. We're going to make these bottoms meet and the tops meet up, okay? So again, we're going to go from the center of this out in sort of a teardrop shape, right? And again, doesn't have to be perfect. And turn your tile 180 degrees again. Teardrop shape. See how the bottoms and the tops are going to line up on those? And my shapes aren't all perfect, but it's still going to be lots of fun. And then turn your tile again 180 degrees. Start from your middle. Now, of course, the smaller they are, the easier this is to get straight, and that's okay. I want you to treat each one of them the same way, okay? Even if they're not perfectly aligned, it's still going to work. So now we're going to go teardrop shape, okay? That one got kind of small on me. That one kind of got crazy on me. That's okay, we'll fix it. All right, so next we're going to add in some orbs, and those are going to go from the bottom of the little teardrop, and they're going to gradually get smaller as they go up. So keeping in mind the size of your circle, or your orb there. And then, well, they're supposed to gradually get smaller. Do better than me. Do better than me, people. Okay, and again, we're going to, at the bottom where they meet, in the bottom of the teardrop, orb, slightly smaller orb, start on the line, slightly smaller orb. Okay, see, that's wonky. That's gonna be okay though. And this one is gonna be bigger, of course. But they're still going to match up. Okay, now let's come down here and make some smaller ones. Well, that one's wonky too. It's all right, it's all right. Smaller and smaller. Maybe not that small. Okay. Now, couple more steps and we'll be there. Next is to add some straight lines that go across on the outer edge of this. Let me grab my example real quick. Okay, so this is the way the pattern is deconstructed with straight lines. Now, in my sketch pad, I played with doing these lines curved, and that gave me, and I also did an example with them inside these teardrop shapes as opposed to outside. So there are lots of possibilities if you're going to play around with this a lot. It's a lot of fun. Also, on the edges, I'm going to branch out with some creativity. Again, don't know how that will turn out, but we'll see. And in the step out, she has these simple orbs. Now, I probably will change that and do something different. But my caution to use is that as you draw these in, you make sure that your middle one is large enough to where it is above the little ones on the side. So you have to start kind of large with your middle orb because that's a dip, and otherwise it looks like, do I have an example of where it's gone wrong? Well, sort of like this. When it goes wrong, your little orbs get higher than your middle orb, and it looks funky. So, okay. That's my opinion. So, anyway, all right, moving along. So, what are we gonna do? I think I'm going to put some curved lines in here. Maybe not right there, but go around that you who follow. Let's leave that open like that. And then I'm going to curve out. And if you like, you can put a sparkle in here, but you don't have to. Just by manner of curving these lines, you get a much different look, right? You have the ability then with your shading to puff that up, which makes it look fun and more 3D. Forgive the shaking, guys. Yeah, it's okay. And one of you had a comment about jelly rolls, how we manage to fix things with jelly rolls, and we will talk more about that. It's been a while since I talked about jelly rolls. My first recommendation is to get a 10. Get a jelly roll 10 instead of the 1 or the small one or the 05 or 005 or whatever it is. The smaller they are, the harder it is to get the ink to come out. And when you're covering opportunities, then you want a good amount to come out immediately, because I think you mentioned, this may have been in Facebook group, I think you mentioned that it just turns into a gray mess. And yes, it does that. It is important to make sure your pen is flowing before you put anything on there. And my next tip is try dabbing it on straight up and down gently. Remember, the more gentle you are, the longer they will last. Okay. What else? Again, it really depends on the size that you are using. Because it's nice to have the small ones, but when you're needing it to come out and cover especially black ink underneath, then you need a decent amount to come out. So that, I have stopped buying the smaller jelly rolls because I almost always have that issue with them, and so I just like my 10s. It comes out of there. Sometimes I have to put ink over it to adjust it, but it's fine. The goal, of course, is not to use it for that purpose. The goal of the jelly roll is to use it for highlights and that kind of thing. However, I would lie if I said I had never used it to touch up a terrible line. But another advantage of these gray tiles, or disadvantage, depending on how you look at it, is that you can't do that here because it shows up. Well, there are gray jelly rolls, right? What are the odds on them getting one that would match this color, though? The message there is, don't love your art, it's not good enough. And so, so I really stopped using it to do anything other than maybe take care of a stray pen mark or something where it makes a difference in how the overall composition comes together. But I try to always save that for last and do everything I can on the tile itself to be true to the methodology that Zentangle brings, because it's important. And it's not that you're wrong if you don't. That isn't it. It's that you miss the benefits of it if you don't, right? So that's my preaching for today. So this is going to go like this. See how relaxing this is? It's not hard. It doesn't have to be perfect, and you're going to figure out that when we're finished, it's going to be cool. Also, if you decide to curve yours like that, let the centers be where, or let the teardrops be where they're supposed to be within that, because as you curve them, as long as they're touching somewhere, that's still going to come together and look right. I'll show you an example in my sketchbook before we're done. I'm just starting this page in there, so I don't have much in there that's very good, but I have a couple of ideas. There. So, and now the last step for this pattern, and again, this should be straight, but I've curved them for my version of this, is to make an aura around this whole thing. So, just an aura, remember, is just a parallel line to the line that is already there. And so we're just going to draw that sort of like an outline all the way around, or exactly like an outline. Just call it what you want. Just do what I do. No, I'm just kidding. Do what you want. But just a gentle line. Take your time. Don't get in a rush. My tremors and shaking are always worse if I get in a hurry. And the more I relax and take my time, the better off I am in the end. So now this is the edge of this over here. So I'm going to go ahead and put a partial aura right there. And then bring that here. Oops. That was flamboyant. Let's keep this one under control now. Sometimes my hand just wants to do what it wants. And that's usually not helpful. Like there. But again, whatever happens, it's going to be fine. We're going to love it anyway. We're going to give it all the love. Now, as in the step out, you can put your 3 orbs, remembering to get... Now, for example, on this one, if you were going to do the 3 little orbs, which is very pretty, I just have trouble getting that right. You would want this middle orb here to be way above this and this, right? So, I mean, not way above, but, you know, like this large. And then you have your other ones. What you don't want is your middle lower than the outer 2 little ones, right? So anyway, that's not what I'm going to do anyway, so I'm not worried about it, but I just wanted to make sure you guys knew. So what I want to do in here is some flux, Rick's version of flux. And flux is, again, just a teardrop shape. I love Rick's flux. It is my absolute favorite pattern. And I'm just going to put 3 in here. Put a little line up. It sort of gives you the direction of where you're going with those, like that. And then as I go, they'll get smaller, right? So one side, the other side, and a little one coming out the top. That's what I'm going to do it. And try not to get too crazy with the wiggles. There we go. Cute. I like that. And I may add some orbs in there too. I do like flux with orbs. It just amazes me that you can do so many beautiful things with this small little teardrop shape. And of course, my favorite thing is to give the leaf treatment like Rick does. That's, to me, that's just Rick's flux. Rick Roberts is the co-founder of the Zentangle Method, along with Maria Thomas. Rick is a monk, Tibet, maybe? I don't know, but he's a very zenful guy. He was the Zen in this. I absolutely believe that if those 2 people had not met, Maria was the artist, if they had not met, that the Zentangle Method would never have come to be, because I think it took the combination of those 2 hearts to make it what it is, which is just a wonderful art therapy tool. You know, it's wonderful. I would lie if I said this did not save me, just like it has saved so many of you. That's why I do these videos, because I just want to share the healing that is drawing and Zentangle, and it worked wonders for me in depression and dealing with suicide and adopting a kid that needed extra love. So it's very soothing. It's good for your blood pressure. It's good for your heart. It's good for your spirit. There is only positivity in this. Just a love of beauty and art and sharing and learning, and just, I've never ever known a community as positive as this one. Never. They're not out to beat each other. They're not out to compete. They just want to share their art and be in a loving community, and that's what Zentangle, the Zentangle community is. If you are new to Zentangle, I want to welcome you to the club, to the Love Club. Love of drawing, love of life, love of art, love of each other. And so I encourage you guys that are new to go over to Zentangle.com and take a look at their website. Read their philosophy for yourself. Read what's important to them and what they want you to learn, and what they feel is important about this art form. They have really good blog posts and things like that, where they talk about how to create your artist mark, where Zentangle came from, all the different Zentangle patterns are there. It's just a beautiful thing. You can also find a wonderful community in our Facebook group, for sure. Cyndee Zenders. You should check it out. The link is in the description of the video, and we would love to see you over there. All right. Okay, now this should have probably been closer together, but to do anything to it now would cause problems, I think. So next, I think I want to add some little orbs in with my flux, maybe ink the bottoms of it. There we go. And maybe tuck some orbs in the little interstices here in ink. I just love flux and orbs and flux. The orbs fit everywhere, and the flux fills in all the spots, the extra spots, or vice versa. Either way, it's lots of fun. Can you guys hear River snoring? She's having her nap. This is my good girl naps when mommy works. If only the rotten puppy would nap. Yeah, he's not here. Expect trouble from him. He's probably outside getting all worked up. Tangle is actually a good name for him, just in general. He is a little tangle of trouble. Take your time, Cyndee. Don't get in a rush. You guys take your time too. Little orbs are such good finishers. So who else did I want to say hi to? Lynn Gotham and Karma. Hi, Karma. Woof, woof. I haven't seen you guys in a while. It's lovely to see you again. Who else have I seen besides Marilyn Blakely and Susan and Linda Shakir? I wanted to say hi to Linda. Hi, Linda. It's lovely seeing you. I'm so glad your granddaughter hooked you up again, or let you know that we were alive. It is great to see you back in comments. Welcome, welcome. Somebody made the suggestion, and I can't remember who it was, but, and forgive me, guys, that, what did they suggest? My brain is like, it's like one of those strainers for, for wet noodles, cooked noodles. Either way, your noodle is cooked. River is being loud. Oops. Take your time, Cyndee. Those are a little misshapen, but it's going to be okay. We will love them. This has been relaxing. I love patterns that are relaxing. Isn't this pretty? I like this flux. This worked for me. Yeah, yeah. All right, so now I actually think I want another aura around that. So let's just do this. And I'm going to take my time. Try to keep the aura tight in. Maybe not that tight. If you don't like your tile, I hope you are still doing this with me. And if your tile doesn't come out the way that you would like and you go ahead and do all of this, that's okay. You don't have to like it, but it's still a step on your journey. And suggestion, if you're in the mood, try doing it over. Try doing it again, maybe a different way, maybe the same way. See if you can get a better outcome. Again, it's all a learning curve. It's all a step on your journey. And I know you guys are going to be great. Saw some really pretty artwork in the Facebook group. Encourage you guys to keep going, keep doing your art. Okay, let's do this other side, and we can do some shading and some highlighting. I feel like we've got plenty of time today. This went quick for me. I do like easy patterns. This was pretty easy. Oops. But look how pretty it is with a little extra love. She also has an example on Tangle patterns. Is that where I got? No. On her Step Out Wait, who is this? Oh, I didn't write it down. Dang it. It's on, I got the link from the Inktober, from Stephanie Jennifer's site. That's the only thing, my only critique of the tangles is not the choices of tangles so much as not having an easily locatable central repository for them, like using from tangle patterns. Now, that said, there is no reason at all why other patterns shouldn't get some attention and love. So I'm not, it's not that I'm against that. It's that at least for one tangle, I've had to work really hard to find them, and probably because I wasn't on Stephanie's site. But even then, you have to jump through a few hoops to get there and find where you're going and all that. So maybe I'm just being grumpy. Oh, I like how that looks where it's all dense. That's kind of awesome. All right, let's get our pencils out and do some shading. Yay, using my favorite F pencil, Mars Lumograph from Staedtler. So we're going to give our orbs some extra love here. We're going to try to shade them in a way that will make them look more pearly, orby, perfy, whatever you want to call them. So I just do a little crescent to one side. And when you choose which side that's going to be, make sure you've taken all of the orbs that you've got into consideration and how that will look. Shouldn't be a big deal, but it can be. Start off with just a little graphite. You can always add more later, but you don't want to be swimming in it for this kind of stuff. And when they get tiny and small, the best you can do is sort of put some graphite on one side. There isn't a lot more you can do. Now, if you used flux like I did, give you put some graphite down on the base of those, give it some depth. I'm not kidding when I say I'm going to make a t-shirt that says, "Don't be afraid to shade." Or come up with some better ones for me. I have to make some changes in my design for the t-shirts, because I used, did I say this yesterday? I get lost. I used the little YouTube red play button on this shirt to just, when I said the Tireless Tangler on YouTube, that was it. But I guess they don't like that. I didn't know that it was a registered trademark or whatever, but anyway, so I've got to take that off, and I'm hoping they'll still let me say YouTube. You know, I did say this yesterday, didn't I? Never mind. I did. I'm repeating myself. It's hard when you don't talk to anybody, but you talk on videos to people, and you can't remember who you've talked to. Nobody. Your son doesn't talk to you. He's 14 and never been talked to before. He doesn't need words. He has grunts. Luckily, I don't take it personally. He's very much an introvert like I am. Although I've worked really hard not to be so introverted, but it still gets me. He can be, fun and gregarious and outgoing when he wants to be, but if he's not there emotionally, then no. There's not much fun going on there. These are so pretty. Oh, hi, Andrea. I don't think I've forgotten about you and singing together. Come on, some of you other brave souls. You should sing with us. I'm mean, aren't I? Okay, now I am going to put just a hint of graphite, and I'm going to do it in small circles so I don't get any harsh lines here. And I'm just going to do it around one side of my huge teardrop here, just to contour that a little bit. And I'm going to do that here. Again, on the same side. Of course, you don't have to. I saw CZT with hers all over the place the other day, so you do what you want. There is no wrong. There is only happiness. That one will be interesting. Now, these will not have much opportunity down here, but let's see where we're at. And then I want to see if I can poof these out by adding some shading around them, or at least on one side maybe to begin with. And you guys remember that before I finish these, I usually go over them 2 or 3 times with my pencil, which is why my work comes out so dark with the shading at the end. So that's how I'm getting those results, is it takes more than one go for that. But you do not have to do that, of course. I just FYI. All right. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. So guys, I've decided to take the plunge and go gray. Men, you can tune me out right now, but the ladies, they know what I'm talking about. I know some of you already are. Some of you are definitely not. Wherever you're at in your hair journey. It's not that I mind coloring my hair, and I like the look I get from it. I think gray is actually, I've seen some beautiful grays, and I'm kind of wanting to see where I'm at with mine. So I started using a gray shampoo, or a purple shampoo. I'm going to see if I can strip some of the color out. I've already gone from a yellow blonde to a sort of a ash blonde, but it'll take a few goes to get all the color out, and it'll be fun. We'll see how it goes, huh? Always interested to hear where you guys are on that. I guess gray is very in right now. I keep watching these children put gray on their hair, and I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But who am I to get in the way of somebody's gray? All right. Tortillon. And I am just going to clean this off just a little bit. This is just a nail file. You can also use, the regular kind that you get in the beauty supplies. You don't have to have a metal one. I just feel like this one lasts longer and it's a little more gentle, maybe. I don't want to really ruin my tip. I just want to get, because if the tip of your tortillon is covered in graphite, it stops picking up the graphite and moving it. It just So you're going to get much better grip and control over it if you will keep your tortillon clean. And so to avoid those lines, I just use mine in a little circle, like I do with colored pencils. And pencils, yeah. And you get a soft edge, if that's what you're going for. Well, that's fun. That's what I mean about the smaller they get, the more problematic they are for that. And because we're working on gray, I'll come in with my white charcoal pencil and you know, buff in a little highlight there. It'd be nice. Oh, I'm gonna like this. I'm already happy with it. Yay. Sometimes experimenting is okay. Just as long as you're aware that it doesn't always turn out the way you hope. I actually applaud experimentation. It's just when you're doing it on video for a bunch of people, it's a little intimidating when your results turn out to be things that you're not exactly happy with. So okay, let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. I may want to clean those up a little bit. We'll see. Problematic. And then jelly rolls in these little orbs on the sides will be very effective in popping the color on this gray tile. And there are cheap gray tiles you can get on Amazon, for example. The Strathmore ones come in gray and tan. So they're of course not as nice as the Zentangle tiles, but they're still perfectly capable of doing what you want. And you can always, you know, with watercolor, make your own tan or gray tiles if you want. That works as well. It's just work within your budget. Try not to worry about not having the same supplies. And I worked budget for years and years with supplies. And the only reason I can afford them now is because we get a slightly better rate as teachers, but that's it. I mean, yeah. Okay, now lost the tortillon down there. All right, now I want my charcoal pencil. Okay, I'm back after rescuing myself. I'm gonna start by putting some of this white charcoal in my orbs on the opposite side. just bring out the shine a little bit. I have to work on that one a little bit with the pencil. Trying really hard not to mix those, but it's tough. And those tiny ones, just kind of have to hope for the best. And hope nobody will notice. Which, for the most part, they don't. Your eye always sees what you don't want others to see. That doesn't mean their eyes do. Okay, those are pretty. Now, I'm going to put a little bit following this curve. When you don't sparkle, this is the other thing you can do on a darker tile. Just go ahead and be generous with it. And on charcoal pencils, guys, quality matters. The general charcoal pencils that Zentangle uses are excellent quality. I have tried other cheaper versions of that I got on Amazon. They were not good. So I'll just leave that for you. It's worth it to, this is one of those supplies that it's worth it to spend a little bit extra on, if you have a little bit of extra. If not, don't worry about it. I have some hard, crunchy, awful white charcoals in my supplies, and they are just pretty near useless because they won't go on the paper. They're so hard that the paper, the tooth on the paper doesn't grab the chalk. So I highly recommend Generals. They are great quality. They're just buttery smooth. They go on beautifully. You almost never have hard spots in them. At least I haven't had any problems with them. So doesn't this look so dynamic now that we put the highlights in? Nice, huh? I love working on gray and Renaissance tan tiles. I just love it because of this. Because of the opportunity to not just add shading, but to add highlights as well. Really effective highlights. It's just fun. I love looking at it when I'm done. I'm always happy. Well, not always, but usually happier. That's an example of sometimes how it gets muddy, but it's not bad. I've been thinking about adding just a little bit of highlight on the opposite side of this. Not sure how it'll look, so we're going to give it a try. I'll try it for you, and then you'll know. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. I think it'll be all right once I get it blended out. Yeah. Now finish up on the tips of my flux. because that is my favorite thing with flux, is putting the shadow on and then adding the highlight. It just brings it to life. Okay, I'm gushing a little bit, but flux, my favorite, my favorite. Even when your lines are wobbly, it looks good. At least it looks interesting in 3D, so can't really complain about it. All right. Okay, and one final thing, I think. I'm going to use the jelly roll, or at least I am going to use the jelly roll. Oh yeah, I was going to get my paper stump and blend on that for a minute. Just in the spots where it's really evident and sort of grainy. Smooth that out just a little bit. I promise I'm going to get back to those comments, guys. Hey, I made it to day 10. Or, just, yeah, day 10. That's something, right? That's something, right? These don't take much blending. You can usually just swipe across it a couple of times and it's good to go. Yay. All right, one last thing is the jelly roll. Another hint, I start mine on my hand, but you need to start them somewhere before you start dotting them on. You'll get a much better result like that. And again, I recommend the 10s, because the jelly roll 10s, because they give you ink usually the first time out. I love this. So much fun. The hints of bright against the dark. You want to barely touch your jelly roll down. The ink should come out of it. If it doesn't, and you can't, start on your hand or a piece of paper. Okay, if you want to do paper, you can. If it won't, just try tapping it, pushing it down. It gets the little ball in there, back up there, and hopefully coat it with ink. But again, the jelly roll 10, usually the supply of ink in there is plentiful, so I just find it less irritating than the small ones, but that's just me. Although the caveat on that is drawing with the smaller ones, well, that's 50-50. I was going to say drawing with the smaller ones is easier because you don't have all of the extra ink coming out all the time. But when you can't get your 01 to produce any ink, then that gets really frustrating. So, you have to remember to, keep your tip cleaned off, like you always see me doing all over my hand. It's just me. I used to watch somebody that was always cleaning starting their jelly rolls on their fingers, and it's handy, and it's always there, and it works. And they're water soluble, so you can wash it right off at the end. So what you don't want to do if you have trouble with getting your jelly rolls getting muddy is you don't want to push down in there to try to get them started. You want to pick up, start them elsewhere, get the ink flowing, and then go back in and dab it down, but don't go back in until what you've got down there is completely dry. It's a process. But I know your pain with the jelly roll. Been there many times. I try to save mine for this kind of thing. But if you do something like that and it gets a little out of control, you can always come back in with your ink and sort of fix that up. It's not the end of the world. Again, it's not that I recommend focusing on, oh, I can fix that, but I want you to know that nothing is forever, right? You know, there's almost always techniques you can do if necessary. What I don't want you to do is focus on the if necessary thing. I want you to focus on giving each stroke of the pen the love that it needs, and your tiles the love they need, and just focus on the positive things. And if at the end then something is really bugging you and you want to tap it out, then, you know, tap it out. Oh, pretty. I really like the smaller ones, and I may in some of these see here, I don't know if you can see here. Let me zoom a little bit. I don't know if you can see right here where my charcoal pencil got over onto it covered my ink line, and you know, all you have to do in that case is take your ink pen back in and sort of just go over that line again. Please God, don't let me mess it up. Just like that. Ta-da! Problem solved. What do you guys think? I really like it. I think it turned out nicely. I may do some more shading, almost certainly. I may shade out here, either charcoal or otherwise. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen to it, but you'll see at the end of the video, and I am going to see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to sign and date your tiles, and I'll see you then. Bye.